Why are negative thoughts very stubborn and how to change them? Welcome. This is Roanne Samuels, licensed psychotherapist. This is the brain. The brain uses, we believe, the most energy in your body. Actually, in my practice, I don't separate too much the brain and the body. I just call them the nervous system, the body and the brain. And so your brain uses the most energy. And when babies are born, they don't have an algorithm in their system yet. So, but once adults, the world, culture presents them with information, say, let's say a pen, this is a pen, then the baby, the brain is starting to categorize. Oh, okay, it's gray. It writes in black, and so on and so forth. So we have negative emotions because from the past, the algorithm in our nervous system, in our body, has probably experienced something really negative, and it has a bookmark it because it's important to remember, even if it's just one. Usually, that's what we remember. It's called negativity bias. So, if you were walking in the forest many, many times and you were fine, but one time you were attacked by a lion, for instance, you would remember that instance because it only takes one for you to cause your demise. And so negative thoughts are very similar to the negativity bias, in which if you experience again negative experiences, especially trauma, it's almost like you're now categorizing your body, and your brain becomes an expert in looking for anything remotely similar that's associated with the original negative event or memory, so that it will not happen again. Your brain and your body is there for your safety, not necessarily always growth, but for your safety. So that's one of the main reasons. And you also, when you're predicting, you are just going by the old algorithm. It reduces the energy. There is a term that scientists use for this, but the brain activity, the brain energy that you use. So you just go by prediction. I think I mentioned this in a previous video. And so, how do you change negative patterns of thoughts? First of all, it is there to protect you. So, it is not so much to um, eliminate it, but for me to transform it. Um, there is a purpose, there is a reason why you might want to remember that once upon a time, a lion attacked you in the forest. And so, again, how do we change that? I always tell my clients to change something, an experience, enter new experiences. Now, just know that your body, it's important to know that when you start doing that, your body would be super alerted, especially if you had experience of trauma. And so, what do you want to practice with a therapist, or maybe you could learn on your own, is to self-regulate. Have few tools, not too much, few tools where you could self-soothe, because your body will become super active, even though even though there's no more obviously lion. Did I say tiger? Lion or tiger? There's no more. But your brain might associate forest, green, the sound, the sensorial experiences you've had, even if you're not aware, during that original negative memory or event. So to change that, enter new experiences, self regulate, learn how to self soothe first before you enter. Um, Learn a thing, a tool or two. So seek a therapist if you need one. And then I have another video which talks about be impeccable with your language. Be accurate with your language. If you're talking about, well, it always happens to me, or I never could speak in public, you know that's not very accurate, and it sounds also negative. It's not accurate because never, always, used to is no longer anchored in the past. To be accurate, you are only sharing what you're seeing in the present, because truly it's not that the past didn't exist, but it's already an illusion. It's no longer there. And so is the future. So anchor in the moment, be impeccable with your language. If you're feeling anxious, you just say, oh, I'm feeling that my heart is racing. I'm feeling a little scared. Those things are appropriate, but try to limit judgment. Like, oh, I'm never going to do this. So if you say that again, that is a judgment, and it's not anchoring in the moment. So, one way also to reduce or transform negative thought patterns. And so, language and imagination. I've talked about this. I'll also link the video. If you could change your imagination about something, let me give you an example. So, if you had an experience where maybe someone pushed you in school, but they tap your shoulder first, so you might have something in your body that got stored with the sensory experience of being tapped. So somebody tap you and they push you, and it was like just a traumatic experience for you. But tap, if you just look in the dictionary, tap is just doing something like this, usually your hand on something or a body part. So tap could be very soothing for a lot of people, like tapping, like to soothe. Sometimes we tap someone in the jeepney, right, in the motherland, to say, oh, ito po, barya ko po, to give it to the driver. So I'm sharing that because just the mere experience of tapping has many wide variation of meaning, depending on the meaning that you have created an algorithm of, usually almost always based on your experiences in the past. So enter new experiences where, especially when it comes to tapping, you have a variation of meaning when it comes to tapping, and you're not left with just the tap and then you were pushed. One way to change negative thought patterns is from also practicing that, but also imagining that somebody's tapping you, but it's more like a soothing tap. So let me see if I could summarize this. Enter new experiences to change your experience, have new experiences, but learn how to self soothe first, so that entering spaces, new ones especially, that is a safe experience for you. Be impeccable with your language, anchor in the moment, and play with your imagination. I use the lei, like a lei, Hawaiian lei language, experience and imagination in my story therapy. If you are interested, I'll put all the links in the link. But for now, I hope this served you well. Take good care. Again, this is Roanne. Ingat.